This is all information we get right now.
The woman, the man, everybody is part of the war.
Rocket flying over, tanks passing by. It is really scaring, but you see the real thing.
I'll be okay. Yes, we will save you. We will save you. I'll be okay. And
Received the Medal of Honor from President Zelensky.
it's a big honor for me. Yeah.
Hi, Rick.
Hi guys,
Hello.
I'm glad to see you. We have to fight for our country.
Nee, ik helemaal. Geef je iemand anders.
I don't call them Russians anymore, they're just orcs. I mean, to mine a cemetery, how sick are you to think of that?
No, we want to fight tomorrow or today.
Say highlights, but the most remarkable things have been shown here. If there's Hello everybody, welcome at the new season of Franky and Coen's Ukraine Insight. This is episode 1 and we have some very interesting guests today, some very interesting topics. First let me introduce the guest. We have here Carola Martens. She worked as a volunteer in an orphanage for children. They came from Ukraine to the Netherlands. We will talk about that later. We have here friend of the show, Erik Dikkep.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And then, of course, we have Koen van Oosten.
En Franky van Hintem, our host.
Yes, yes. So, yes, everybody very welcome. And we start with the news. Yes, hello. Just like in the Netherlands, also in the Ukraine, the school started again on the 1st of September. The children in Ukraine start. And let's watch about the children going to school for the first day.
A new school in a new place. This first day is both exciting and daunting for Irina Mischenko, about to turn 6. I was going to the kindergarten before, she tells us, then the war came. That's when she and her family sheltered in the basement.
I want to learn my letters and numbers. I don't know them very well yet, and my grandmother has been helping me.
Everything is new because almost everything she and her family owned was left behind in the southern region of Kherson. Instead, her new school will be north of Kyiv, where work continues repairing buildings that were damaged in the initial invasion and which are now dealing with an influx of children from the fighting in the south and the east.
But their friends have changed, the teachers have changed, their environment has changed. So there's a huge mental pressure on those children.
And for their teachers, there's the added burden of creating timetables according to the size of their shelters. Estimates vary, but it's reckoned as many as 3,000 schools have been damaged or completely destroyed since the start of the war. And in the last academic year, only about a quarter of Ukrainian schools were able to offer full-time in-person learning.
It's very different within the Netherlands. I remember when my daughter went to school, well, it's very different within the Ukraine, because in the Ukraine there's war. So what do you think, Koen?
Yeah, for me it's incredible that children cannot go to school.
Yes, a lot of the children, 40% of the children don't go physically to school. They
learn on their iPad or laptop if they have it.
Yes.
And then it will be difficult to learn.
And Erik, they have, in the schools there, they have shelters. And if the shelter allows only 300 children, but the school has 1,500 children, then only 300 children at the same time are allowed to be in the school, for who knows.
And how do they solve this problem? Is it then one day this group can go and other day other group can go?
Changing hours, so they have less lessons. You know about this because you were in Zaporozhye, maybe?
Yeah, well, the children I visit started school officially on the 1st of September, so last Friday. Yeah. But they actually didn't because the schools are closed.
Yeah, the whole area of Zaporozhye, I've heard there's no school open.
No.
All the schools are closed because it's dangerous at the moment, very dangerous.
So they try to do some online schooling, but it's very, very less.
But that will be that the children are behind learning.
Yeah,
and I think that will be a problem in the future for them.
I think so too.
Yeah, it might be because, but there's no choice. And even if you have a school, and if you have children who are allowed to go to school, would you let your children go to school?
No, sorry.
Yeah, depends where.
In Zaporozhye or in the Donbass area, no, never.
Too dangerous.
Two big groups at one place, and we know that the
Russians like that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's dangerous. When we're talking about children, maybe you heard about in Germany about a child. Well, let's have a look.
10-year-old Ukrainian boy thrown off bridge in Germany for not speaking Russian. A manhunt is underway in the German town of Einbeck for a man who authorities say violently attacked a group of Ukrainian children for speaking in Ukrainian. The man, described by the public prosecutor's office in Göttingen as being between 40 and 45 years old, allegedly approached the group of kids as they sat near a bridge over a small canal, DW reports. Upon hearing that they were speaking Ukrainian, he demanded that they speak Russian and claimed that Ukraine started the war, prosecutors said. The incident culminated in the middle-aged man grabbing a 10-year-old boy in the group and throwing him over the railing of the bridge, leaving him with injuries to his head and leg. The man allegedly hurled a glass bottle at the boy as he lay injured in the canal. Prosecutors are seeking to charge the man with attempted murder.
So an adult against a child, 10-year-old, it was a group of children, and just because they spoke Ukrainian language, which is their language, got aggressive.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Aggressive to children is a big no.
Yeah, but can you imagine throwing in over the bridge just because he spoke Ukrainian? Some people say that it's a problem in Ukraine to speak languages, but in Ukraine you speak Ukrainian, Russian, English, German, all the languages are going through each other. You saw it yourself in Zaporozhye. I think the most spoken language there is Russian.
It's Russian, yes.
It's Russian, but it doesn't matter. Russian, Ukrainian, and then even in Germany, a Russian person makes problem and throws a child over the bridge and throws a bottle behind him. It's unbelievable.
Crazy. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And that's happening here on our side of the world.
No world for it.
Yeah. Well, not only bad news, because I've heard that in Ukraine, the Ukrainian army is making some serious progress. Let's have a look.
And heading into fall, Ukraine's counteroffensive is said to be making good progress. That report from the U.S. coming in the same week as Kyiv suffering its biggest attack in months. CBC's Dominic Velitis reports from London.
White House security spokesperson John Kirby was briefing journalists on a conference call, and he told them that Ukraine's forces have made notable progress in the last 72 hours or so in their push against Russian forces in the south of the country, specifically in the Zaporizhzhia region. And those words were echoed this morning by Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who said Ukrainian troops were moving forward in their counter-offensive. And then earlier this week, the Ukrainian military itself claimed it had broken through Russian defences in the south and captured the strategically important village of Robotyne, which, although small, is on high ground and as such puts a place called Tokmak in sight, which is the regional road and rail hub. And taking that, it's believed, would make retaking the rest of the south a lot easier for Ukraine.
Progress very important, and in the south it's very important in this area because it will cut off
the supply routes.
The supply routes for the Russian army, and they say that it might be a big breakthrough because this is the most difficult part to get through, the first part. There's a lot of landmines.
Yeah, but the landmines, that is the biggest problem.
That is the big problem.
They have to get rid of the mines or mark the mines to get through the lines.
It slows them.
That makes them a lot slower. Everybody thinks, what is 1 kilometer? But 1 kilometer full of mines is a long, long way.
So they're making the progress, and they expect that now it will go faster, which is very important for the Crimea and for all the south area to gain even more territory. This first few kilometers are the most difficult. Also, some progress is made in near to Bakhmut. Let's hope that this continues. And maybe we'll a little bit later speak about this also with Rick, if we have the possibility, or with Aljona. But there is some progress. This is very good news.
That's really, really good news.
Yeah. And some very unusual news. Prigozhin is dead. Let's have a look at his funeral. Yeah, well, this is the funeral of Prigozhin, and as you see, there are not so many people. He's a very, very famous man, but you see only a few people. And this is because the Russian government did not announce where the funeral would be held. And also, they had several other locations, graveyards, where they showed up as if there would be the funeral held. So they had a lot of security at a lot of different locations to not show where Prigozhin really would be buried. But the good news is, or not? What do we think? Is he dead or is he still alive?
I think he's dead because not only he is dead, but also other people around him in the top of...
I think we can discuss about this because there's a lot of people think he's dead. There's a lot of people who think he's not dead. And that brings us at the statement of the week. Eric, will you have a look at it? Because on YouTube people can vote or can give their opinion about is Prigozhin dead or alive. Eric, what do you think?
I think he's dead.
You think he's dead?
Yeah, but I'm also not sure, of course. I was not there at the moment.
Nobody's completely sure. But there's a lot of things to say about it, about his being dead or not being dead. So people, if you have an opinion about that, you can leave your ideas on YouTube, and we will discuss this. Eric will keep a close watch on his laptop.
I have the tablet over here, so when you give your reaction or questions, anyway, if you want to say something about the show, let us know, and I will tell Franky and Coen.
Yeah, because they also can, if they have other questions, maybe for our special guest, or for me, or for Coen, or for Eric, or for Aljona, or later on the show, Rick, we can talk about this. So, very interesting statement of the week. Several options. Yes, Prigozhin lives. No, Prigozhin is dead. Let's have a chat about it a little bit later. Every time in the show we have Aljona. Aljona normally makes an item every week. And also now she's in the show. So, Aljona, are you here? Hi, Aljona. Hi. I think you're here.
Hi, guys. Of course, I'm here.
we are so happy to see you after everything what happened, alive and well. We had some very interesting time in the Donbass, which ended quite spectacular. But you're all healthy. Everything is good.
Yes, everything is okay, and of course, I'm very happy to see you guys because. Franky, we speak with you by the telephone very often, but I don't see you a couple months, a little more than from 27th of June. Yes?
Yes. Yeah, the 28th of June we left in the morning.
We asked about how you are, but how are our driver?
Yes, how is Sasha?
Sasha, everything is okay. Don't worry, guys. We're working today together, and of course, these 2 months after this situation, I know we have to speak about this a little yesterday. Of course, not good to remember, but everything is okay, guys.
Maybe some people don't know what happened during this trip, so we have a small video about what happened.
Wij waren bij een aanslag. Een grote bom, ik weet niet, raket of wat dan ook, in één keer boom. Zo hard. Wij zijn weg kunnen komen, maar er zijn zeker mensen dood, kan niet anders.
Well, actually, we were very worried here because we just came out of the restaurant that has been bombed by a very, very big rocket from more than 3,800 kilo, 7 meters 20 long. And Coen thought that the blood on his face was not his. It was an extremely stressful situation. It just happened 2 minutes before. Koen, it was heavy.
Yeah, it was really heavy. It was, yeah, you hear nothing and just a big bomb. And yeah, the only thing where you are there, I have to go out fast as possible.
We were so lucky, Aljona, we were so lucky that above our head the roof didn't come down. And yeah, we're so lucky that we survived.
But if you see here how close we are sitting.
12 meters. Aljona had a check. This is where the rocket came in. And this is afterwards. Aljona, out of our names, put some flowers because 13 people died, from which some people we met in the days before and on that evening.
Yeah.
The lady who served us that evening, another lady who we have been paying that evening the money after the dinner, and just 1 or 2 minutes later she died. Probably you know more people in this restaurant than we did, because we met only 3 or 4.
Yes, actually I know more, and maybe not good, you know, not like friends, but one of them just always remember, and this was administrator. You also have to remember this guy, he asking to make a photo with me when we were first day when he was in this restaurant.
Yeah, I remember that. He, he followed you on Facebook, and
yeah, he was almost like a fan of yours, because he really wanted to be on the photo with you. And I remember he was standing on the entrance. I saw him a few times. I didn't know what was his job, but I remember him very well. But what I remember the most is the girl who we paid. We paid by card, and after
we gave a tip.
We gave a tip, and as we had no smaller bills than 500 hryvnia, I said to Koen exactly these words. I said, Koen, let's give her 500 hryvnia tips, because we always give the tip in cash. Let's give her 500 hryvnia tip. Then she has a good day also.
How much is this in euros?
It's about 12 euros. But the thing is that we gave her the tip, and a few seconds later she died.
Yeah, that's horrible. Horrible story. Does anyone know why they send this bomb over there? This is only a restaurant. Only a restaurant. Harmless people.
Only
why?
Civilians.
It's very expensive bomb. That's what I heard. Why this restaurant?
Euros or something. Why they send it? Because maybe, I don't know, there were volunteers a lot who were helping out there. There were journalists. We saw maybe only 1 or 2 militaries. It's not a military location. It's really a restaurant. We have been there 3-4 days in a row. I don't know, 3-4 days, 4-5 days. I don't know. We've eaten there every evening.
Yeah, and we see military, but we see military in all of that region. In Kamakors, they are everywhere.
That's the simple situation, guys. You have to understand the Kramatorsk. It's very close to front line. Of course, there's many militaries here. Of course, they have weekends. They're not working 24 hours, 7 days in a week and every day. Of course, they have weekends. Of course, they are the people who wanted to go to a restaurant or to eat something, to meet some friends. Of course.
I saw only three military that evening, Aljona. Yes. I saw only 3.
We wasn't inside, Frankie, actually, but I'm sure 100% that is inside, you know, inside.
You mean in the higher part? You mean in the higher part, because people might misunderstand. There were 3 parts of the restaurant. You had the outside, you had the inside low, and you had the inside high. The inside high, that was where is the oven and where was the where they make the pizzas, and there most of the people died. On our side, only the lady died who was sitting right behind us, the writer, and maybe the man on the right side. I'm not sure. He didn't look too good when I left. But you think maybe there were more militaries inside, or there were militaries maybe with normal clothing. Is that what you mean?
Yes, I mean that, but I just wanted to say that is Kramatorsk very close to front line. Of course, military is here. Of course, they are the people and wanted to drink some coffee or eat something, you know.
Yeah, but a 2.6 million ballistic rocket for a restaurant, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. And
at 7 people, only seven dying people, only from the personnel of this restaurant.
Yes.
7 people. And I have information, 3 people right now, very difficult because the troubles with the legs, the trouble with the back, also the personnel of this restaurant.
Yeah, and then, yeah, well, still I don't understand. I can, and there was a girl, only 14 years old, who was actually one of the best working employees there. She was running from left to right. She and her sister also died, 14 years old.
Yeah,
That's unbelievable. It's children. It's children. They kill children.
They say it is a military target, but is it not a target to hit journalists, people that help in Ukraine, volunteers? Is that not a...
I have one of our viewers, one of our friends of the show, Mark van den Broek. He writes on our YouTube channel where the people can give their opinion. I still believe you guys were a part of the intended target in Kramatorsk.
No, I don't think there. Maybe if we are somewhere else where there's a few hundred people around us, like we were in Kherson, then we are not the target, but the group of people in total, that might be the target. But I don't think... Do you think that volunteers and journalists are targets, Aljona?
Oh, Frank, it's a difficult question, but because sometimes I said no, they're not trying to kill some volunteers or journalists, but sometimes it's 100%.
Yeah, yeah, you
Actually,
never know. And
yes.
And they are still doing it. They're still bombing Kramatorsk, like last Saturday. Let's have a look. Many locations in Kramatorsk have been bombed last Saturday. Aljona, can you tell us a little bit? We saw a rocket in the middle of the street.
Yes, yes, it was 3 civilian locations. Right now you can see this is a civilian house, not big house, 2 levels, but this rocket was inside on the 1st floor.
And did anybody...
the first video you see on the street, the rocket.
Yes.
And one of the rockets was, you can see right now, and you understand the location.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
You see, yeah.
But anybody got hurt? Anybody got killed?
No. Everything is okay. I was here. It's actually, guys, very close. The second location with the civilian house.
To the hotel, I think.
Close, 100 meters from the hotel.
I saw that.
When the last time.
I recognize it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I get goosebumps from that.
So it's also near to your house.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, anyway, you survived well, and at this moment it's quite relaxed in Kramatorsk. Or how's the situation right now?
I don't know how to say. It's not quite 1 or 2 times on 2 weeks. It's the strikes like this, the rockets. Actually, more of them. It's factories, of course. Not often it's streets or houses like this. But the people still live here. Right now, I have the information that 85,000 people right now in Kramatorsk. I mean civilian people, of course.
Okay, very clear. We actually have a statement of the week, and I just wanted to know also your idea about it. We have a statement, and people can answer on that on YouTube. And the statement is, Prigozhin is still alive. What do you think? Is Prigozhin still alive? Will we see him somewhere, somehow? What is your personal opinion?
Oh, guys, if you ask me, I don't know, it's maybe 50-50, but right now I don't believe it. I think it's a very smart and very rich man. And maybe the situation right now he know that he have to do this, and I don't believe he is dead.
So more no than yes, from your personal opinion?
Yes, more no than yes.
Okay, later in the show we will see a response from the people who are watching our show, what they think about it. So we will get back on it. Aljona, thank you very, very much. Take care, be careful, it's dangerous there. And I know you're still going to the front almost daily. Next week you show us a nice video about something. Be safe.
And the hope is to see her in 5-6 weeks.
Thank you.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah. Okay,
see you next
take it
week,
easy
guys.
and thank you. Have a nice evening. Cheers, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I have another question for you both from one of our friends of the show. And this is from Yuppie. And Yuppie asks, I have a question. Did you follow free medical first responder training?
No, we have been offered that though. Somebody sent us an email and said that they can help us with that. And we are, well, actually, I don't know if I spoke about it with Koen, but it's a very good idea, and we should consider doing that. It's always better to have that, not only when you're in Ukraine, but also here. It's always clever to do something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So thank you for that. It's a very good advice. Actually, I kind of forgot about it. I got an email from somebody. We will seriously consider this. This brings us to actually the guest of the week. Guest of the week this week is Carola Martens. She's here on the table. Welcome, Carola.
Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I'm good.
You're good. Good to hear. You worked before as a volunteer in an orphanage. And in this orphanage were Ukrainian children. They are still there, a lot of them. And they came.
Orphanage in Holland.
In the Netherlands, yeah.
It was a Ukrainian orphanage who came to the Netherlands when the war started.
With about how many children?
They started with 38.
38, and now it's about?
Now it's about, I would say 30, 28, 30.
Okay, so some left, and that's actually what we're going to talk about. Yeah. But first, before we do that, let's have a look at the video which came from the Jeugdjournaal in the Netherlands, which is a news program for children. Let's have a look.
De regering van het land riep Oekraïners in het buitenland daarom op om nog niet terug te komen.
Ну, я до цього відношусь нормально, тому що якщо б я вернувся на Україну, то я би не ходив до школи і сидів без світла.
Ze maken zich wel veel zorgen over de familie die is achtergebleven. Vooral hun opa's en oma's.
Het is moeilijk van mijn opa en oma in Oekraïne. Omdat straks winter komt en ja, koud.
Maak je je dan zorgen om je opa en oma?
Ja. Ну, я боюсь, що там теж можуть бомбити війська. Бо зараз, мій дідусь зараз у Дніпропетровській області, де зараз прилітали недавно бомби, і мені страшно за нього так.
Children are very worried about their grandparents, and the Ukrainian government advises people, adults and children, not to come back to the Ukraine if they are in a safe country. So the children in the orphanage in the Netherlands, which you have been working with, most of them, are they happy in the Netherlands?
Yeah, for what I can see, they are very happy. They are going to school here, learning Dutch. And also last week, well, the school started and most of them are now going to a Ukrainian school in the Netherlands where they learn to speak Dutch, English, but also follow some Ukrainian schooling. So they can keep up with the Ukrainian school.
So they get something from both sides.
Yeah.
And most of the children are happy here.
Yeah, they're going to play some football with friends, and well, we see them cycling around, and they look very happy.
It's sometimes unbelievable how flexible children are in situations. That's unbelievable.
And of course, not always, because, well, when we speak about an orphanage, like what I knew about orphanage is that there are children whose father and mother are dead. But for a lot of orphanages in Ukrainian and Romanian, that's not always the case. There's also a lot of children which parents couldn't take care of them because...
Yeah, we hear that.
Or didn't
want to take care of them. But they have, some of them are wishing to see their mom again or have some contact with aunts or grandfather, grandparents who are still in Ukraine.
This is children in different ages, and some of the children come in the little bit older age, 12, 13, 14, when they're going to have, well, they're going to be more difficult. That's natural, that's what's happening, and probably that happens also with the children over there.
Yeah, well, they came from quite a strict orphanage, for what they've told me. Not a lot of freedom, and then they come to the Netherlands, and we have other laws, and we can't tell children you have to be in your room for 23 hours a day, and you can only go outside for 2 times.
Because that's what they were used to?
Yeah, that's what they were used to.
How I understood, not only the children came over from the Ukraine, but also the people who accompany them and who take care of them.
Yeah.
So the rules were kind of like they were used to in the Ukraine?
Yeah, well, and that was a problem in first. That was a problem because there was some people coming also with the children who were working in the orphanage over there and came with the children to the Netherlands, and they were used to the Ukrainian rules.
Which are very strict.
Which were very strict. And then they came to the Netherlands, and in the Netherlands we said, yeah, but you can do that, and you can do that, and you can not do that. And it was very hard for them, not only because, well, in the Ukrainian, in the orphanage, when they were in Ukraine, there were 40 people taking care of those children, and they came with 3 in the beginning.
We have some experience in Ukraine with orphanages. We have been to several, to 5 fries, and we saw a very different situation in one orphanage and in the other one. You can directly see how the children respond on the adults who are there, and we saw a few which were extremely strict, and we saw some locations where they were very happy. But anyway, a few of those children who you think because they were quite difficult have gone back to the Ukraine. They have been advised to go back, kind of pushed to go back.
Yeah, I think so.
And they were supposed to go to Lviv, which is in the western side of Ukraine, which should be quite safe. It's not safe, but more safe than other locations in Ukraine. But these children have been brought back to the Ukraine, which, to my personal opinion, is already discussable. Not done, says
Not done.
Well, I think it's very dangerous. I would not let my child go to Ukraine, anywhere in Ukraine.
No.
We talk about many times where we see children on a location, and one time was one little girl, all grown up and only one girl. And we are both like, what does that kid doing here? Why is he not...
we were nervous when we saw children coming to eat fries on our...
Especially if you are 2-3 kilometers from the front line.
But these children have been sent back. They were supposed to go to Lviv, and already before they came to Lviv, they were accompanied with people from the local authorities in the Netherlands and with some Ukrainian. They were supposed to go to Lviv, but already in Poland they found out we're not going to Lviv, we're going somewhere else.
How was it going?
Made them nervous already, I think.
Well, yeah, they came to the border between Poland and Ukraine, and then I received some messages from the children because I texted them, how far are you?
You always keep contact with them.
Yeah, and they said, yeah, well, we're at the border, but we can't go to Lviv because there's some corona virus breakout to the place where we should go to. So now we're not knowing where to go to, and they don't tell us, etc., etc. And then, well, they crossed the border. And they went to Polonia, which is about 500 kilometers past Lviv. And they were brought to an orphanage there. And at the same day, the people who brought them left. And, well, they stayed there.
And after that, a few of them, or all of them went further?
7 of them were there, and at this moment, 3 of the children who were there are in Zaporozhye. I visited them recently, and 2 of the 4 people, of the 4 children who are still in the orphanage, 2 of them are traveling tomorrow night to Zaporozhye as well.
Wow.
Zaporozhye is very dangerous.
Yeah, we've been there.
To our viewers, some people might not know, but Zaporozhye is very dangerous. Zaporozhye is very near to the Russian occupiers. It is partly reachable with artillery, and it's been bombed and rocketed very often. And also it's near the nuclear facility, which people are afraid of that it might something go wrong there. It's extremely dangerous. We are nervous when we are there, and I would never ever let my child go there.
But does the local authorities here in the Netherlands, do they know this?
They know this. They know this, and they didn't.
But how can they let something like this happen?
Well, actually, I had a phone call today with the press officer, and she said we also are very sorry for the situation, but we have no authority over these children. It's the Ukrainian orphanage who decides and who has the responsibility. They are the only ones who can decide. But to my personal opinion, it's very discussable if what is your opinion?
Well, they signed, children are coming here, and the local authorities signed an agreement with the orphanage in Polodzi, where they came from, to take care of the children. And of course, I know that the guardians, who are also in the Netherlands, have the last word. But in my opinion, as a local authority who is looking after these children every day, you have also a responsibility to say, well, it's not done. There was contact with now and then with the orphanage in Ukrainian, the director of the orphanage, to talk about children, etc., etc. So in my opinion, they had to do more, and they didn't.
And the local authorities say that there's a good chance that it was their own will of the children, but that's not your feeling. They have been kind of...
Well, there were children, of course, children, there were children who wanted, it's their country. And they're 15, 16, 17, their friends are there, they're speaking with them on the phone, and of course they have a will to go back. But they're still children, and in my opinion, as an adult and as a guardian, you have to protect the children and say, when you're 18, then we don't have anything to say about you, then you can decide if you want to go back or not. But until that time, we decide. And I think it's...
But it is a small group. Why is it a small group? Why only 7?
Why are these children sent out?
Well, in my opinion, is because there were
the most
difficult ones.
But you just mentioned about 17 or 18, you can decide yourself. But these children are studying now, they're on school. If they do not do well on school, when they turn 18...
They will be kicked out of school.
Sorry?
They will be kicked out of school. And
they will be kicked out of school, and 18 years means that they might have to...
Go to army.
To go to the army and go to the front. They are 17, 18 years old. They have no parents. They have nobody to cover them, to help them out. They are the...
To advise them?
Yeah, so these are the easiest children to send to the front, because nobody will protect them. They don't know the laws. They don't know what to do to avoid this. To my opinion, it's quite extreme. I don't know what to think about it, because from one side you have to say these children might have their own opinion. You cannot say you have to stay here. So if they really wanted to go there, it's complicated. But still, as you say, an adult should decide, and should decide wisely.
They had no idea. they only knew Ukraine from before the war. Well, and when they came, of course, they came like on the end of March, and they've been in some shelters because of
the bombing.
And they were in, for what I understand, they were one night they were in like a hostel or something like that, where the Russians almost kept them, didn't want them to leave, but with a lot of talking, they managed to leave. But that's the only thing that they know, and they speak to some friends and they say, oh well, there's some bombing, but oh yeah, and they see them on Instagram and TikTok walking around the streets, and they're thinking, oh well, it's okay. But of course it's not okay.
No, it's extremely dangerous there. It's not okay. But this is not where the story ends, because you went to Zaporozhye all by yourself.
Yes.
How did you go there? What did you see?
Well, I flew to Poland and then I took a train from Poland to Zaporozhye. What did I see? Well, when I arrived, the first second, the alarm went off. And, well, that continued all week, day and night. And at first I was thinking, oh, do we need to go to a shelter or something? But when you are 2 days there and you see how many times this alarm is going, then you understand that people are not going, because then they have to sit in a shelter for, let's say, 12 hours a day. Then you can better leave, because...
And very often the alarm is too late, because it's very near to the Russian side. So a rocket, when it's been sent now 40 seconds later, it arrives. But what did you see when you met the children? Because you went there to see the children.
Yeah, well, I saw their home. And I cried like for an hour or so. Because it's, well, of course, I'm not used to their standards. That's...
But what did you see?
But it's, well, it's like going back in time 50, 60 years, and it's very poor. There's no heating, or well, there is a heater, but it's not working. Electra coming out of the walls. It's like, well.
It's for our perception. It's bad. It's very bad.
Very bad.
And the main thing is, except for the bad situation, because a lot of Ukrainian peoples are living in not the same luxury like we are living in, so that's not the main thing. But the main thing is that it's very dangerous. Did you ask them if they would like to go back?
Yes, and they write me several times. I would like to go back. Can I go back? When something happens, when there are falling a lot of bombs, etc., then they're getting scared, or something happens. They see something on the news that makes them angry. Then they want to leave, or just not want to leave and say, I would go to army, I would go to army. So it depends week by week.
Okay. So what is the main thing? It is irresponsible that I think that children have been sent back. Your opinion, Eric?
Yeah, that is irresponsible.
Yeah, no children has to live in an area where bombs are falling. But the children, one question, the children, what they say about the situation that they go back. They go back to Ukraine. What they say about the people they bring them back.
Well, they were very angry at the beginning, for sure, because, well, of course, they were told to go to Lviv, and then they were put in an orphanage for 4 months, or even now they are still there, some of them, and that was not what was told.
Promised.
So firstly, they didn't get what they had been promised. Secondly, it's maybe not a wise decision made by a child, and somebody should have taken responsibility, and that should be actually probably on the Ukrainian side.
But I think also a little bit in Holland.
Yeah, we asked,
so too, because
we got in contact here with the local government of the town where it's where the children's orphanage is based, and they say, well, we cannot take responsibility. We are very sorry, but here is an address in Ukraine from some orphanage, and they decide if you want to know more, contact them. No phone number, no nothing, very complicated for us to find that out. But this is a situation, the children are there. And will you visit them again?
I hope so in October.
Yeah. Okay, if we will be near, we will let them know and they can...
Yeah.
We can
fries, the frikandel. I think they miss it.
And what I'm curious about is how's Rick doing?
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Why are you fighting? We are fools. This is why we're fighting. Have many died? So many.
See you next week for Ukraine.
Good evening, Rick. How are you doing?
How are you doing? Hi, Kunt, Franky, Carola, Eric.
Hi.
Nice to meet you guys. And hi, the viewers who is watching and listening carefully and are actually very interested in what you're saying, guys. So thank you for the great show. I'm happy to be here again. And maybe you have some questions for me, like what's the weather outside?
Let's start. How is Kiev right now?
Kiev is good. The summer is gone, but it is still warm, like not super warm, not heated, but good. And all the rockets that's been flying lately been all shut down by the air defense, which is pretty good in Kiev. So I cannot complain. That's much more, much harder there in Kramatorsk or Zaporizhia. Definitely, you guys are right. Here in Kiev, we feel not fully safe, but safer than there, close to the front line.
That's for sure. But still, I know from my relatives, my wife's family is from Kiev, and they had some sleepless nights, not because the bombs getting to the targets, but they all been shut down, and that's also very scary and noisy at night.
And
the rubbish coming out.
Yes, that's actually very dangerous because the rubble from the rockets, the particles, they are coming down, and they can hit your apartment and kill you easily. And I must say there were some rockets falling next to, well, not next to my house, but like I could see it from the window sometimes, and it is so damn scary, and you want to get out far away from the window, believe me, in the night.
I just have a question for you, Rick. If you would have a child, let's say 15, 16 years old, and he wanted to study in, let's say, Zaporozhye, would you let him to go to Zaporozhye?
I don't think so, but I must say situations are different. The economic situation of any family is very different, and some people cannot afford to move, and they want to stay in their homes also. Even if it's a great risk, it's really hard for many people to just leave their home where they lived for their whole lives. That's actually a dilemma of many towns and villages and cities close to the front lines. You know that, guys. You've been there. You've seen those people.
Yeah, we understand that. We understand that. What actually, to your opinion, was interesting, unusual, big, or, well, something in the news what you say we should absolutely talk about?
Oh, yeah. I guess the loudest of the news was the attack. It was kind of double attack. It was happening in Ukraine, a huge, massive rocket attack, and it was happening in Russia. Yeah, you see, guys, that Pskov, Russia, it was Wednesday night, and they've seen such a picture. That's an airfield that is actually burning, and actually Russian is saying 2 planes are burning on our airport in Pskov. They were big planes. Later, like a couple of days after, main Directorate of Intelligence of Ukraine showed us the footage, how those planes were actually hit. And then Security Service of Ukraine, in a couple of days, they've shown us the video of those drones being tested you see the drone is exploding above the target in the sky, and then a lot of small shrapnel falling down, and it is hitting through the wood and steel. You see, there were metal plates there, and they were like all in holes. That night, Russia sent 28 rockets to Kiev, actually here, and 15 Shahed drones. 14 Shahed drones were neutralized, and all 28 rockets. And you see the video now, how rubble is falling. That hit rocket that's been neutralized is still falling down and destroying the superstore. I was actually visiting that superstore for a while, a couple of years ago. Fortunately, it was happening in the night. This is why I think no one died in this. It's not an accident.
Accident. Yeah.
Attack. It's consequences of an attack, actually.
Well, good to hear that everything got covered, everything got taken out. That's good to hear. And yeah, wow, yeah. In Kiev, still in Kiev, I also feel still a little bit nervous when I'm there, and that's also because I hear all from the family of my wife's side. Still, it's dangerous in Kiev. Yeah.
A couple of things more about those drones, because the video was so short that I needed to say really fast, and I still missed a couple of things. So those drones that were striking Russian airfields, they are made of a cardboard. So they are paper drones with explosives inside, and they are not detectable by their air defense systems, by their radars. This is why they're easily coming to those airfields and hitting the planes. Those were big transport planes, Il-76. They can transport huge amount of ammunition, for example, the shells, right? And they actually lost 2 of them, 2 completely burned down, and 2 were severely damaged. They were all in holes when those drones were exploding above them. And the most important thing, this happened 700 kilometers, even more, 700.5 kilometers far away from Ukraine. And
so
our
they have a long reach.
Yes, no, the thing is that our head of intelligence, Carola Martens, said that they were launched from the territory of Russia. So our special units operating there in Russia, and they're launching it right from Russia. And we have, maybe he is not being sincere, just to deceive Russians, just to make them be scared. But it seems like he was saying the truth. I feel so.
Yeah, and I also heard this week about the pilot crash. That was terrible. It's not, they're not shut down, but do you have a video of that as well?
Yeah, let's see. Let's watch the video. So the pilot's name, we're gonna see it a bit later, but he was really famous here in Ukraine. His call sign was Juice. Andriy Pilchikov, sorry. So he was famous here in Ukraine and also in the United States. He was advocating for the F-16 since 2018, I think. He was the first guy to talk about this. Even before the full-scale invasion, he was trying to, you know, okay, shit, I forgot the word, sorry guys. But he was advocating for it. He was trying to change something in our doctrines. He was trying to do the best for Ukraine. He was a patriot. He was very passionate about it, and he was a pretty good pilot, as they were saying.
But we shouldn't forget 2 more pilots died. They also were risking their lives for Ukraine, and they might be not so famous, but they also died. 3 pilots died, correct?
Yes, this was an accident during the training. It happened here in Ukraine. They were training some new pilots, I guess, but 3 of them were, all 3 of them were very good pilots. Those other 2 guys were working in the military as pilots for 15 years or something, as I remember. So it's a huge loss for Ukrainian aviation, for Ukrainian army, because
we are very sorry to hear that, and it's a big loss. Earlier in the program, we were talking about Prigozhin, that he died, or not. Just in short, Rick, we don't have too much time anymore. What do you think? He is alive?
Okay, 90% that he's dead, and about 10% that he might still be alive. I think that he is capable of faking his own death, definitely. But I'm just not the guy who believes in those conspiracy theories, you know. I think probably 90, maybe even 95% that Putin just got rid of him, that he killed him.
A little bit later in the show, we will hear what most of the people of our viewers think about it. Right now, I think we might have a little chat also about what is going to happen with us shortly. Rick, we want to thank you very much, and probably we will see you soon in Kiev, but for sure we will see you next week again in the show. Let us thank you very much.
Last question.
Yes?
When are you gonna be back in Ukraine?
Well, I'm going next week, end of next week, to Ukraine, but only to deliver a new oven for our trailer.
And some goods, a lot of goods.
And a lot of goods. But somewhere around 10 October, something like that, we will arrive in Ukraine and we will do a new round with our mobile restaurant over there.
Awesome.
Rick, have a good evening. Thank you very much. And see you next week.
I was happy to see you guys.
Bye. Bye bye. Dan ben jij.
Ja.
Ja, Rick. Ja, Erik. Erik.
That's almost the same name, but I think he's much more a hero than I am here on the table. And speaking about heroes, for me, and I think for a lot of viewers, you also kind of heroes, because you went there in the dangerous place. You went to this restaurant where this bomb, and how is it possible that you want to go again? Can you explain this to me? Why do you want to go again? Why it's so dangerous?
Yeah, it is a very dangerous place, and yeah, sometimes you are a little bit scared. But yeah, we want to let's see the people what's happening there. The people, what you see in the news is very little, and if you are there and giving French fries and snacks, and you see the people smile, children smile, you know they need the support. That's we.
I think that frying fries there is the same like here. It's just a different location, and we are careful. It's not that we go all the time to the very risky location. We are near to the very risky locations, but it's not so necessarily that we go. Well, sometimes we are a little bit...
We are not on ground zero.
We're not on ground zero. But we have been on ground zero to make interviews, but not to fry fries.
No, I understand. But what's the plan now? What are you going to do for the next trip?
Actually, we're going to do something similar like last time. Maybe she'll have a little video about our last trip.
Okay, cool.
Wij gaan proberen deze mensen te helpen. Dit is toch niet normaal?
Het heeft behoorlijke impact dit.
Daar pas je bez probleem. Nu tak bude linie. Dobre dzień. Nou, hier horen we dus het luchtalarm. Terwijl wij staan te bakken. Er verandert niks. Mensen blijven gewoon in de rij staan friet halen. Ook kinderen en zo.
From hospital to gray zone or zero, only 1 kilometer.
Очі бояться, а руки роблять.
Ik kan hier blijven filmen. Maakt niet uit hoe lang. Als daar de Russen zitten, het is een heel raar gevoel. 600 meter van je vandaan. Helemaal niets. Waarom?
Ja, dat waren eigenlijk verschillende locaties waar wij waren. Je zag dat we frietjes bakten in heel druk bezochte plaatsen. Je zag, dat was in Zaporozhye volgens mij trouwens.
Ja.
Je zag een stukje Avdiivka, dat is wel echt ground zero. Daar zaten we echt heel dicht bij de Russen. Sorry, that was very near, very near to the. That was very near to the Ukrainian border, Avdiivka. It was Zaporozhye where we fried the fries, and actually it's different kind of locations where we've been last time, and also the next trip we're gonna go around from
and
here
show
to there.
people what is going on there.
Yeah.
And how people live.
What I understand is that you also bring some stuff over there. What did you bring until now, and what are you going to bring next time you go there?
Oh yeah, except for the food, you mean? Yes.
Yeah, the food. Of course, we know the frikandels and we know the French fries.
And the chupa chups.
And the chupa chups.
Lot of generators we brought. Well, now we have. We brought it already to the Ukraine, but we still have to give it away. A lot of cooking sets, which are on gas, so people can take it with them. We have some power supply systems.
Cut off, eh?
Yeah, of course.
That's why we bring them.
We are afraid for the next winter, because last winter was terrible. And we are afraid that next winter might be similar. So yeah.
Is there something what friends of the show can do to help? What can people do?
What they can do, they can like us on online. That would be nice. Okay. The likes are very appreciated. They can leave messages. They can they can have a look at our website. There's lots of things that people can.
And talk about it with family, with what's going on. That is not only
knowledge. Sometimes is more important than stuff.
Yeah, it's very often so. Did you have any incoming questions, or it's all about the statement?
Yeah, this is all about Prigozhin. Do I say this right?
Prigozhin.
Yeah. And I think Rick before was right, because also our viewers of the show, 80% think he is killed. So almost
70 to 80%, something like that.
Almost 90%.
Exactly. 78, so almost 90. Like Rick said, 90% he will be killed. And that's also what our viewers think. So almost 90% of our viewers think he is killed.
And
by
did
the
they
Russians.
also say how they think he's killed?
Yeah, by the Russians.
By the Russians?
Yeah.
By the Russians.
That's what they think.
What do we think on the table? What do you think? Is Prigozhin...
When I first heard it, I was thinking, oh, it's not true. He planned it, and it's not true. But after a few days, when also the news came out, also from like BBC and all that news sites, that they identified him, I was thinking, maybe.
But we never see a picture.
No, that's true.
But you also thought he's dead.
I also thought he's dead.
What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I think he's dead, because I think when they would stage it, they would also take care of a fake picture.
Okay, but then how about 2 planes were in the air?
Yeah.
One plane is shot down or exploded or whatever. The other plane arrived.
Yeah.
Who are those people? Why don't we hear anything about these people? Why don't we hear anything about what happened to them? Or, well, I think if we are with 2 planes flying and one plane drops down with friends of us, nothing came back of it.
That's strange. I agree with this.
And he's buried very quickly.
Yeah.
Also, which makes me... I'm not that sure. For me, it's a 50-50.
Yeah, but they can bury quickly because they don't want to have a lot of people at one place by the funeral. This was a little funeral, a purpose.
Yeah.
And they have more places, they say.
Yeah, they had a lot of locations opened up, so as if they're... But I'm still not convinced.
Yeah, but
I'm not convinced. It would not surprise me if maybe in 3, 4, 5 or even 10 years he shows up somewhere in Africa or something like that. Maybe he made a deal with the Russian government, with Putin, or maybe he's just so clever himself. I'm not convinced.
No.
But I would not...
Would he
bet.
Would he leave all his people on the Wagner group, do you think? Just to fake his own death?
That's a good one.
Or really being killed, if that's the 2 choices.
But you hear now
he would be killed at some moment for sure.
But now you hear the Wagner group says to the soldiers, find another job for the moment.
Yeah.
Not for all time, but for the moment.
We will see in the future. I think...
I hope I never see him again.
No, but maybe we will be convinced.
I hear too many stories about him.
Maybe we will be convinced in some moment about the real situation. Anyway, the viewers decided.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like 80% says he's dead.
78%.
78% says he's dead, and a few think, I'm not sure of it, or think,
are on your
think that he's
side.
still alive. Well, I'm not sure. I don't say that. Anyway,
Let me hope he's dead.
we're almost on the end of the show, but we always end with what we call in Dutch the uitsmijter. Something funny or something interesting. Well, have a look.
Кнопку «Открыть» нажмите, пожалуйста. И тормоз. Не-не-не, все на месте, Максим Ильич.
Не заводится?
Ну, это прототип, подождите.
Что-то я не так делаю.
Well, I almost ordered that new Lada, but I'm not sure if I will continue with it. I think it was the Russian Minister of Finance or something who wanted to show the new type of Lada, a completely new model. Well, it didn't go so well.
It was a good advertisement. Even going to order.
Yeah. Well, we're now really on the end of our show. I want to thank all our guests. Thank you, Carola, for being here, for telling your story.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it was very nice. Thank you, Erik.
Yes.
And you will be here next week again?
I will be here next week again.
Is it for sure?
Yeah, for
sure. You liked
sure.
it, you come back.
And I will be the voice of the viewers.
Yeah, of the viewers, yeah. Well, Koen, thank you very much as well.
Yeah.
We'll see each other a lot this week. Thank you to all of the viewers. Thank you very much for watching. And we hope to see you again next week. We will have an interesting show again. For now, everybody, wish you a good night and see you next time.